Welcome back to a new episode. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a good day. Got a lot to cover in the markets today, as usual. Some wild up and down price action, plus a very surprising entity making their Twitter debut last night, and then a surprising, potentially black swan event on the horizon in Bitcoin that we have to take a look at. First, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Ben Crypto Show, and hit the like and subscribe button here, and let's begin. And then as we begin, my two nephews, Lucas and Carson, they want to be in a little bit of the video here, so come on forward, guys. Gonna ask them their opinions on the market. Let's see, can you see? Okay, so that's Carson, close guy, far away guy, Lucas. Okay, that's the camera, guys. So what's, let's see, Lucas, what direction do you think the market's going in? Up or down?
Up.
Up. Carson? They're bullish. They're bullish. I am too. Good answer there. Now, how about the Mt. Gox Black Swan event? I'm going to talk about it in a little bit here. Do you think that that could be bad news for Bitcoin, or do you think it'll have no effect?
No effect.
No effect. Okay. What do you think?
No effect.
Yeah, I agree with you too. I'll go over that a little later. And then finally, the Alameda Research, they made their surprising, shocking Twitter debut last night. What do you think? Is that a little suspicious or totally normal? What do you guys think?
A little suspicious.
Yeah. It's a little suspicious,
Yeah.
but nothing totally abnormal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, great answers, guys. Thank you for joining me here. I will take over the episode from here, but those are my two nephews, Carson and Lucas. Catch you guys later.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me. Whew. Okay, so let's get into the news for the day here. So the poll of the day, I'm going to do that right now. I didn't have time to post that this morning, but that is going to be on the Mt. Gox potentially Black Swan event. It's going to be a simple poll. Do people think it could have negative consequences, or is it not going to have an effect? Same thing that I asked them. You can tune in at Ben Crypto Show on Twitter and vote for that one. So let's dive into that a little further here. So the big news here is that 150,000 BTC is going to be unlocked around this September. For years we've been hearing this news. There were 850,000 Bitcoin stolen. Only 150,000 have been recovered. But those are going to be, 8 years later, they're finally going to be given back to the people who owned the Bitcoins initially, and that, if you do the math, that equates to a lot of money, $3 trillion worth of Bitcoin. Not 3 billion, 3 trillion. Now, we already saw 2 weeks ago what kind of extremely negative effect the $500 million sale had. So then imagine $3 trillion worth of Bitcoin is going to be suddenly just unlocked to people who haven't had it in 8 years, and in September, and some of them could sell immediately. So could this have a black swan sort of catastrophic effect? Now, so again, we've been hearing about this for years and years. This could be the one devastating event on par with Satoshi Nakamoto coming out of the woodwork and selling his coins or moving his coins. Frankly, I don't really think so. I would have to agree with my two nephews, Lucas and Carson. I don't know. I don't really have any reason for it. Something about me I just don't see these entities just immediately panic selling. I'm not even sure if some of them even really know how to use exchanges at this point. I think a lot of the coins are just going to sit there. I think a lot of the people might choose to actually have cash instead. They could choose cash, Bitcoin, or Bitcoin Cash. Those are the three options. I think a lot of the people just aren't even around anymore to reclaim their tokens. So I don't think it's going to be quite as big an effect as some people think, even though $3 trillion being unlocked in the market, it's a lot of Bitcoin. A lot of Bitcoin right there. That'll be the poll of the day. I'm going to post that in about a half an hour, so stay tuned to that. Let's get into the price action for the day. So kind of a wild day, up and down. It's doing pretty well today. It's at about 21,800 right now. So that's up about a good 5% on the day. So you can see a few hours ago it went down most of the 4 or 5%, and then it shot back up. So the reason it went down, that was this right here. So the jobs report came out, the U.S. jobs report, and jobs data was better than expected, which is actually negative for Bitcoin. I'll explain that. But in June, the U.S. economy added 372,000 jobs, better than the forecast of 250,000 jobs. So that's bad for Bitcoin, because then that typically precludes the Fed raising interest rates even more than usual because they think that the market will be able to absorb the interest rate increases quicker than normal. So even though it's good for the economy, it's bad for Bitcoin because Bitcoin price has been negatively affected by interest rate raises. And as I've said many times, excuse me, and as I've said many times in the show, June 26th is the next big interest rate increase. Around June 21st, 22nd, we will start to get the predictions for that. So this jobs report data a few hours ago, that caused a little dip here, but Bitcoin immediately shook it off. It immediately went back up here. So there's definitely upward momentum in the market. This is bullish. This is good news here. Let's move on to some more bullish indicators. So I guess a lot of exchanges are recording high altcoin purchases, just a lot of altcoin activity, which this was not the case a few weeks ago. But this week in particular, they didn't specify which exchanges, but it seems to be the big ones. They're just recording a lot of on-chain purchases on their exchanges, Bitcoin to altcoin, and they're recording a lot of altcoins leaving the market. So they usually report stuff in three categories. There's Bitcoin, altcoins, and stablecoins. So right now they're seeing a lot of altcoins specifically leaving the market, meaning those are probably not going to be swapped into other coins, meaning the customers already made their purchases, which is what their data showed. So this is good news. As we all know, when Bitcoin goes down, everyone knows altcoins go down even more, and every altcoin goes down. So if these purchasers thought Bitcoin and the market was going to keep going down, they would not be buying more altcoins, but they are, meaning the sentiment is bullish now. Moving on, cold Dow, this coin yesterday went up 46%. They got listed on Kucoin exchange. That was big, and 46%. So we haven't seen this in about a month or so. All coins just mooning 30, 40, 50, 60% a day. It's just a breath of fresh air. So now you'd like to think that I think a lot of exchanges are going to follow Kucoin's take here. They're going to start listing more altcoins to be like Coinbase, for example, always lists altcoins every Monday or Tuesday. They didn't this past week, probably just due to market conditions, because if they list altcoins, any price increase would be absorbed quickly by the market, and it wouldn't be as great an increase as it would have been if the market was going up. That was the sentiment the last few weeks before this week. Now I think we're going to start to see exchanges list more altcoins. Sticking with Coinbase, so the Coinbase premium is positive again. It keeps going positive. This compares prices on Coinbase versus Binance, which this is reflective of U.S. investors, particularly institutional investors, and what they think. Are they bullish or bearish on Bitcoin? Because Binance is viewed as more of the international crypto exchange. Coinbase is viewed as the U.S. institutional, semi-mainstream whale exchange. So when the premium is going up, it means the price increase is just slightly higher on Coinbase than Binance, which means U.S. institutional investors are buying more than they are selling. So that's good, since we know the U.S. has the highest trading volumes of any country in the world these days. More bullish news, Celsius has now fully repaid their Bitcoin loan. Right here, $510 million was transferred from Celsius to FTX, so their liquidation price is now 0. So I think we might be seeing kind of the end of the whole Celsius, BlockFi, TerraFud. I think that might be a thing of the past, hanging over the crypto markets for several months now. Move on to the next story. U.S. government is adopting strict crypto ethics rules for employees. This is a new rule. I guess U.S. federal employees, so not state-level government employees, just federal government employees. They are not allowed to own any crypto or stablecoins. So Bitcoin, altcoin, or stablecoins, they're not allowed to own any of them while they are on a job that could have an impact of the price of any crypto. So this doesn't mean that they can't own them, period. This just means that they cannot own them while they're on a job that, there could be, they could enact a favorable legislation that could cause the coin to go up, anything like that. They just want to have their hands totally clean on that. Some people think that this new policy might preclude sort of stricter regulations from the U.S. government on crypto in general. It could be, because if they're going to enact some new rules on stablecoin policy or DeFi policy, then they would probably want to make sure that they're covered on their end. Could be that too. I don't think people should look into it that much. Let's move on here. Binance CEO CZ on Sam Bankman-Fried's Voyager bailout. I would never do that kind of deal. So CZ, he's the head of Binance, as we all know. He tweeted, and in this interview, he criticized FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried for doing the Voyager deal, which is a little confusing, but basically, in a nutshell, FTX initially invested in Voyager, and then when Voyager went bankrupt, then FTX gave them a $500 million line of credit, and then they drew $377 million in loans from that line of credit. So the question is, well, why don't they just, if Voyager is bankrupt, why don't they just pay back the $377 million that they, FTX, owes Voyager, and then Voyager wouldn't have to declare for bankruptcy? Nobody quite knows the answer for that. It's very confusing, but CZ put out this tweet right here yesterday. It's, again, the flow is a little difficult, but Alameda invests in Voyager and takes a $377 million loan from Voyager. Then Voyager goes bust. FTX doesn't bail them out or return the money. Hard to follow. It's a little hard to follow. But then the surprising part was Alameda Research, they just made their first tweet ever last night. They've been around for, this account was created in 2018. Amassed a pretty good following for having 0 tweets, 0 likes, 0 replies, not following anyone. They have about 66,000 followers. I think they have about 72,000 followers now, based on no activity in the last 4 years. And just out of the woodwork, 11 p.m. Eastern last night, they make the first tweet. It was, happy to return the Voyager loan and get our collateral back whenever it works for Voyager. So this appears to be a response to CZ's critical tweets earlier in the afternoon, and I guess Alameda just did not want to wait till the next day, Friday, to put out their statement, or they did not want to put out a press release. 11 p.m. Eastern, that's about 7 a.m. Dubai time. The Dubai crowd is waking up. That's where CZ lives. Now, they were putting this tweet out. You can expect more tweeting from Alameda going forward, I predict. That's all for today. Ben Crypto signing out. I will be back on Monday with a new episode. No episodes tomorrow and Sunday as usual. Watch out for the poll on Twitter I'm putting up in about a half an hour, 20 minutes here. Catch everyone on Monday. Later.